So apparently there is a new trend of de-centering men. And I'm like, if you want to get married, how are you de-centering men? That's like, I want a job, but I'm going to de-center jobs. Granted, for the born again believer, Jesus is the center of my joy. Ladies, we need to have an honest conversation. And we need to have an honest conversation with ourselves because a lot of us are delusional, we're liars, we're emotional, and we are not telling the truth. And we're not telling the truth because the truth is you don't dish the cookie out. You don't give Pookie, Ray, and Tyrone, Deshaun, the cookie. And you thought the cookie was going to keep him, was going to make him marry you, was going to make him be faithful to you. And then when he get up and leave to go get somebody else cookie, now we want to talk, oh, I'm going to de-center men. And now you have these channels of women just, we don't need no man. We not going to date men. We going to stay by ourselves. Well, like the old bishop said, if you don't want a man, what exactly do you want? I'm talking to the church now. I ain't talking to everybody else. Everybody else can do what everybody else want to do. I'm talking to the church. Who is the church? The born again believer. Who is the born again believer? The born again believer who has confessed the Lord Jesus Christ as Lord of your life. Come on, somebody. So for the born again believer or women who listen to my content, and I mentor a lot of women who are not born again believer, but I'm just specifying born again believer just in case people are in their emotions. This is not for you. Because if the born again believer woman gets in her emotions, all we gonna do is go on over here and pick up this Bible and flip to the scriptures. I cannot keep up with all these trends. This is why I really do believe this is why a lot of women are not meeting their husbands, because you're what? You're double-minded. You're going back and forth. You're swaying in the wind. And what does the book of James say? I believe it's the book of James. You will receive nothing from the Lord because you are double-minded. You are unstable as water. And for the born again believer woman who is believing God to connect you with your husband, to make you meet a husband, tell me what it would look like if Abraham decentered what God told him that he would be father of nations. Girl, my head is giddy. Y'all know, I'm believing God to be delivered from vertigo. But all this back and forth, I just can't do. This is why I believe women, we need to learn how to correctly date. We need to get our standard and stick to it so you're not double-minded. You can't want a husband, but you're pushing men away. I don't understand how you think one is going to approach you. How you think you're going to meet your husband when you're speaking negativity and you're spewing out, I don't want a man. I'm decentered man. I'm not going to focus on the man. I don't want to be bothered by a man. I don't understand how you expect to meet your Boaz, ma'am. Girl, it's Saturday morning. How you doing? I miss y'all. Be sure to subscribe, thumbs up, share this out. I am still watching Married at First Sight, but you know what else? You know what I watched all day yesterday, all after last night? Young famous Africans. Girl, Scandalous. I'm almost done. I think I have one half of an episode left. I think I fell asleep. Be sure to subscribe and thumbs up. Ladies, we need to understand that we are emotional beings. That is just the way God created us. He created us to be emotional. We are emotional. But it doesn't mean, ladies, that when we are dating, we need to throw ourselves in our emotions. Even though God created us to be emotional beings, right? Our emotions is our weakness. It's like a blessing and a curse. And so, what we have to do is learn to control our emotions. You can't do dumb, stupid, foolish stuff in dating and think that it's not going to come back and hit you in your face. That is why, as women, we must learn how to correctly date. Dating is about data only. It is not about sex. My father said, as long as two people have the two parts that go together. Adam knew his wife Eve. That's what that scripture means. There's only one way. As long as two people have the two parts, make sure it's not a micro, you can make it work. Because you know what's crazy? These men out here, this big old grown, crusty, dusty, girls 40 and 50 talk about they want virgins, right? They want virgins, but at the same time, they want to be testing women out. This is why you take the cookie off the table. But a lot of women, you get emotional. You meet a man. You put all your eggs in his one basket. You're spending all night on the phone. You stop dating other men. You make him the man. He is the center of your joy. You wake up texting him. You text him all day. You go to sleep on the phone with him. And then when he figure out you're not it, he drop you. And then you're in your emotions. And you want to stop dating, man, but you have not learned how to correctly date. Dating is an art. Dating is a skill. Dating is a game. I know people don't like to say that, but it's a game. And in the game of dating, women play checkers and men play chess. And this is why women get played all the time. Men move along until they meet a woman who knows how to play the game. And when you get played, you start saying all these crazy things. All men are trash. All men are dogs. All they want to do is screw. But you have not learned how to differentiate between trash and treasure. You haven't learned how to take, since they all want to screw, how about you take the cookie off the table? You on the phone talking with some man all night. You ain't got nothing else to do. You meet him and you just stop talking to everybody else because he's it. How do you know he's it? How much money he got his in bank account? What is his credit score like? What is his blood work like? What is his plan for retirement? What is his plan for marriage? You don't know any of those things, but you've made this strange man you just met it. Huh? Wives are unhappy because you get married for love alone. Love alone can't withstand a marriage. Feeling alone cannot withstand a marriage because our feelings are fickle and our feelings change. Granted, I've been married 10 years. There has not been a day that I have not loved my husband. So I have not experienced not loving my husband, but I've heard many women say there are days they don't love their husband. I haven't experienced it, and granted, I don't want to experience it. But if I experience a day that I don't love my husband, I am not going to go file for divorce because I didn't marry him based on my love alone or a feeling alone. I have foundational truths and foundational pillars of why I married my husband. And I can always go back 10 years later and say, I married him because this is why, this is why, this is why, this is why, this is why. And is the feelings there? Yeah, the feelings is there. But if the feeling go, I can always go back to my emotions. And ladies, don't be delusional. The reason why a lot of women are crying and in their feelings are decentering men and hating men and men are trash and we gonna stand by ourselves is because you also do not understand that men have a vision of a woman that they are looking for, and you might not fit in it. He might enjoy you. He might take the cookie because you're foolish enough to give it to him, but he's not gonna marry you. I've told you on my husband. I asked him, why you marry me? He said, this is after I wrote this book, 23 Types of Guys You Might Meet. And I asked him, why did you marry me in the kitchen? He said, no, the bigger question is, why did you marry me and not that other guy? I never told my husband I was dating other guys. But one thing he knew, when he called, I was not available every time. When he texted, I did not respond every time. And when he wanted to go out, I was not available every time. But he grabbed me here and he told me, he said, I've always told you that you're smart. I love smart women. He said, you don't have to be a Condoleezza. There go Condoleezza up there. He said, can y'all see Condoleezza? He said, you don't have to be a Condoleezza, but you at least got to be a Michelle. There go Michelle up there. I love smart women. You're smart. And he said, you got to be sexy like Janet. And he said, you got to be good with a home and mom, with home and kids. My husband was looking for Condoleezza Rice, Michelle Obama, Janet Jackson, Mary Poppins. He said, got to be good with home and kids like Mary Poppins. And the funny thing is, the first time my husband met my daughter, we went to see a Broadway play, Mary Poppins. Isn't that ironic? So you think you're it because you think he's it. And then he used you and leave you. And now you're in your emotions. And I wish women would just tell them the truth, ma'am. You are in your feelings and in your emotions. Because men have a vision of what they want, and you might not add up into it, and you might not be in it, even though he might enjoy you for a season. But at the end of the day, he's going to leave you and find what he wants. And this is why we take the cookie off the table. This is why, ladies, we learn. We must learn how to correctly date. This is why you take the husband profile course, so you can also learn what you want. Because the problem with a lot of women is you don't know what you want. You're willing to settle. You're willing to compromise. You're willing to move your standard just to fit into what a man wants, or just to have a man in your life. But once you learn what you want, I guarantee you, one of the reasons why men are not moved, they can use you and move along, because they have a goal and you're not it. But if you also have a goal, you will not be dishing out the cookies. You will not be emotional. You will not waste time on the phone with a man for 6 hours. You will learn to date, gather data on several men at once. It is not sex. I don't understand how y'all have bachelor's degrees, master's degree, doctorate degrees, but y'all can't talk to 3 men at one time. Huh? And how many courses did we take when we was in college? You took math, science, biology, you took your major course and electives. And you passed all of them, got A's, but you can't talk to 3 dudes at one time. I don't understand. And the reason why you cannot talk to 3 men at one time is because you haven't learned how. Because if you knew what you wanted, my husband profile, sign up for it. It begins again in July. If you knew what you wanted, soon as Ray Ray say he want 50-50, you drop Ray Ray. Move along. He ain't it, because you don't want no 50. I have to go, y'all. I love you. Let me know what you think. This foolishness, ladies, if you want a husband, you must watch your words. You must be careful of what you say. Every day, you need to be on your best behavior. Let me tell you, when I was believing God for a husband, every day I dressed up and went to work, because I worked in the business district and I love businessmen. So I just knew I was going to meet me a businessman downtown North. I made a couple of, but it wasn't mine. It wasn't my husband. And when I went to work, the girls would say, "Why are you all dressed up? Where are you going?" Girl, let me tell you, every day at break time, I would be out walking. And lunchtime, I'll be out walking, getting my exercise, but I'll be out there. If you want to be married, you need to do the job. The man is not going to come knock on your door. Every woman can't marry the mailman. That's the only man that's going to come knock on your door. The mailman, the Amazon man, the UPS man. There's only one per neighborhood. So if you want to be married, you need to do the work. You need to position yourself. You need to place yourselves in the right environment. I'm about to take my braids out. You need to place yourself in the right environments. You need to read 2 or 3 types of guys you might meet. You need to sign up for the husband profile so I can teach you how to properly date and choose your husband. Dating is for data is coming very soon. I still love you and adore you. Let me know what you think. I'll be in the comments today. Mwah. Talk to you later. Bye. Michael.